Hey, how's it going, my friends? Hey guys, my name is Tony. You are watching Big Daddy's Reviews. If you like reviews like this, make sure to give me a good thumbs up. Definitely always appreciate that so much. I am a geek in every way. I like pop culture stuff. I like dad stuff. I like man cave stuff. But one of my secret loves is watches. There's just no other way to say it. So today I'm going to tell you, we are going to talk about a watch that is very coveted in my mind. There's no other way to say it. I am a James Bond fanboy, okay? I'm going to admit that right now. I love James Bond. I love the James Bond movies. Novels are fun, all that stuff. Ian Fleming's history and everything he's written and all that cool stuff. I dig it. Okay. I'm a huge fan of Sean Connery's James Bond. Timothy Dalton, amazing. You give me Roger Moore and all those good guys, but I am a product of my generation. Pierce Brosnan's James Bond is probably the most near and dear to my heart after Sean Connery, because in GoldenEye, he came out with a really cool watch, and I'm going to show you a watch that I'm wearing right now. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be part of another video that I'm going to make, because I can't talk about this watch without talking about this watch. So, my friends, this isn't what you think it is. I'll just say that for right now. It's not what you think it is, but this is the watch that kind of inspired this watch. So this is the Daniel Craig Homage watch, Omega Homage watch. And this is the watch that is done by Watchdives, okay? And y'all, I'm going to tell you right now, I am so happy with this. I know that in usually reviews, you kind of wait to the end and it's like, I'm not one of those guys. I'm a geek, like I said. Ultimately, I'm a geek, and I hope you're a geek like me. If you're a geek like me, remember to like and subscribe. Again, let me know if you like more videos like this, because I will make more watch videos. I like finding stuff on a deal. That is my favorite thing in the world. I have a coffee channel where I talk about coffee called Faith and Coffee Bean, and I always like to talk about budget stuff, and this to me is like the ultimate budget gem. So let's get right into it on what this is. So this is, like I mentioned, the Watchdives Homage watch, okay? I bought it on Amazon, right there. I bought it for about $170 some on special. It's back up to $199, but I'm gonna tell you this price tag is 100% worth it. So we're looking at the Watchdives WD007 Sea Ghost NTTD vintage dive watch, and it has the movement in there that is amazing to me. It blows my mind. The PT5000. So it's an automatic movement. We're looking at 42 millimeters, sapphire crystal, titanium, and of course 200 meters of water resistant. Okay, y'all, this watch is really cool. I'm just gonna say that right now, like I said before. So when I got this watch, I got it with the metal band. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take it off here, and I just want to give you guys a good close look. And I have it on the Watchdives, their brand of NATO, and this is the NATO how they sell it. So when you go online, if you want to get this look, this is the way to go. I wanted the actual bracelet, but I'm going to tell you the only thing that I have is a really big bummer part is my wrist are like a bear. I'm a big guy. I'm a John Candy size type guy. And when I put on the bracelet, it was extremely tight. So I actually took the bracelet off and and I replaced it with the NATO. So that's one thing to kind of think about. I was a little surprised that I know there's probably some more adjustments I could have really put on the bracelet. So, maybe I'll put the bracelet back on, but I did want to kind of show you this way because this is really how it appears in No Time to Die. So, first off, let me just say this. Omega has an amazing history, okay? If you haven't already, if you're just in the watches, please look at doing the research on Omega. I'm going to take the NATO off while we're talking. This NATO is actually 1 millimeter I got a 21 instead of a 20. So it's a little snug, but when you get it, it's going to be perfectly sized. And I'm okay with this because I actually kind of like it a little snug. But as you can see, let's get really close to this, y'all. It has the beautiful vintage look. It has the scalloped edges. Let's go ahead and listen to this awesome bezel action. Okay. It just sounds so satisfying. There's barely, like, if I hold it still, there's zero play in the actual bezel. So that is a really, really good thing. You know, I've heard of even Citizen watches where you get them and, you know, there is some play when you move around, and that's not what you want. If you could see here, it has that vintage patina. You can't quite see it right now, but yeah, let me go ahead and just turn it around. Yeah, you can. That's awesome. Right here, you have the British sign. I forget what that's called, but this is how the actual one that you get from Omega looks. First off, guys, let me just kind of say this. I've always wanted an Omega. And I know it's going to sound weird showing you this, but I'm going to tell you this right now. I guess I better just say it. I had a family member who watched one of my last videos who acquired this watch on a trip, and it is not an Omega. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not promoting getting watches like that. I'm not promoting getting replica watches, okay? I prefer an Homage watch, but I'm going to do another video comparing these two watches, and I'm going to tell you the pitfalls of the replica world. Now, I didn't buy this. It was gifted to me, and it was gifted to me, like I said, by a family member who was traveling overseas and bought two of them, different colors, saw my video. They are awesome. They watch us later on. I appreciate them. And gave this to me, okay? But what's just crazy is Omega just has this beautiful history. And I don't want to take away from that. But if I were to go into a store, and this past weekend, I live in Florida. I went to a big store in the Orlando area that had Omegas, and I held this exact watch in my hands. And it's about $11,000, y'all. $11,000. And maybe one day I'll buy one on the secondary market, something like the Real, something that's certified, something that's a legit site for buying vintage stuff that's been loved before. I think that, but the idea of me going into a store and spending that type of money is just kind of crazy. So that's why I really love something like this. So one of the things that's really cool is Watchdives, San Martin, and even Addy's Dives, and the different offshoots of these type of watches. This is really considered a micro brand, and what makes this really special to me is the movement that they use inside. So like I said, that movement is just really phenomenal. The PT5000, and what's really cool, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys right now, is what you're kind of getting for your money. And so for 200 bucks versus spending $11,000, there really isn't a comparison monetarily, because that's not even in the same bracket, okay? But just to kind of tell you, you're talking about 2,800 basically beats, 25 joules, 38 to 42 hour power reserve. So that is definitely awesome. The actual Omega Seamaster is a 25,200 beat rate, 35 joules, which is amazing. It has the Co-Axial certification, and it has a 55-hour power reserve. So the real thing, guys, that's why you're paying all that money. It's Swiss, it's beautiful, and you are buying that right to have a Swiss watch. I know that sounds silly, but you really are. But for someone like me, this is probably as close as I'll ever get. And I really do love these micro brands making these Homage watches, because it allows me as a regular person to feel guilt-free and have a nice watch. And I think it's better to, I've shared this before on my other channel. For years and years, I've been married 20 years. I'd say the first 15 years, I kind of told myself I wasn't allowed to have nice stuff. I know that sounds weird. Maybe you're like me, maybe you're not. Hope you're not. But I told myself I gotta spend all my money on my wife and my son, and I gotta, you know, buying stuff for me is crazy. I did the whole dying to myself thing, and that's good, that's valid, that's fun. It's not fun. But the truth is, you gotta be able to treat yourself. And that's how I kind of view this, is that this is a good treat to myself. I deserve a good watch, and I think you deserve a good watch. I think everyone deserves a good watch. So what's cool about this is that you're getting, like I mentioned, a quality, beautiful watch. San Martin is basically a cousin of this watch. They make a version of this as well. And guess what? I believe they use the same movement. So that's kind of wild. So personally, that's why I like Watchdives. On the back, you're not getting any embellishments. You're not getting the Watchdives logo. It's just simple. I actually prefer that. Again, scalloped edges. You have your helium release valve, and we're going to go ahead. Let me show you this. So the helium release valve, I will never use. I'm not a saturated diver, nor will I ever be, but of course it's just nice having that heritage on there. So this does have a functional helium release valve. Okay, that's awesome. One of the things I really notice about this watch is how quiet it is. And that's something that I think is super important. You know, I did find that this watch is very quiet. I've had other automatic watches that were cheaper, I guess I'll put it that way, and they just sounded loud. And one of the things I've really enjoyed about this is how quiet it sounds, how easy it is. I do a self-wind. I also have a case that will wind it if I want to put it in that case, but I tend to keep it with my other watches, and we'll do a self-wind in the morning when I decide to wear the watch. Putting it back on the NATO here, let's go ahead and put it on the wrist. So that is really awesome. The proposition though is really the pricing to get that great look. And for me, I'm gonna be really honest and transparent here. I think the fit on this, obviously NATO is perfect. I love the way the NATO feels. In my day job, I am a commercial insurance agent. I do a lot of typing and talking. I have customers in front of me, but I also work at home sometimes. And it's just nice because this isn't gonna scratch my MacBook Pro, you know, while I'm working. I dig that. But like I mentioned, you know, the biggest thing for this is that I feel like if I walk out in public, I feel it's okay to have an Homage watch. I think it's almost these days very acceptable. And from these micro brands, especially like Watchdives, there's tolerances that are tested and built into it. So this is an actual 200 meter dive watch, and I could do exactly what it's intended. I could take it out and I could go saturating diving. I live in Florida. This is probably one of the capitals for scuba diving. If I really wanted to get to scuba diving, I could, and it would actually work, and I don't have to worry about that. So guys, I'm going to tell you right now, this is totally a win for me. If you are a James Bond fan, if you love the Daniel Craig watch, and you're kind of like me, the idea of spending $11,000, $10,000 just kind of is out of that range, you know, it's definitely a good idea. Stay tuned for the comparison to this watch. Like I mentioned, this is a replica, and I did want to do a comparison because I think there's people that might think about going this route versus going this route. And I'm just going to tell you right now, there's some big benefits to going this way. And we'll talk about the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember that you like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this watch in the comments below. And let's go to the next video.